Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at the OWASP WEBGOAT, specifically version 5.4, which is included in the OWASP Broken Web Apps project, which, by the way, you don't need to use a hypervisor. As you can see, I'm actually using a virtual box, running it through there. So we're going to be going over the basic lesson and the HTTP stripping lesson, which is like the first two real lessons, since I know they can be kind of confusing. First thing, you're gonna want to make sure that either the WebGoats or the OWASP web project is set the network set to host only, as you can see. And then your virtual machine, you kind of want it set to host only. But you can also, well, you should also set the another adapter to be turned on and set to NAT so you can access something like Firefox. So tools needed are proxy to intercept the traffic. This is where many people can get confused since it's not really mentioned anywhere. I'm going to be using a Burp Suite, which it comes included with Kali, so you don't really need to do anything crazy or out of the ordinary with it. So in Burp Suite, the first thing you're going to do is go to proxy. Just turn off the proxy for now, just so we can get a move on. Since if you leave this on, you have to forward every single time you do something on the browser. So open up the browser, and now you're going to go ahead and access WebGoat. So let's see what the IP address is. 108, I believe. Yep. So here we are, and then again, OWASP WebGoat, and then we log in. So yeah, just log in, go ahead and start the goat. So the first basic assignment's really simple, and it's to explain basically how HTTP operates using get and post. So go ahead and just read the lesson plan. It kind of just goes over it a little bit. So effectively, lesson one breaks down HTTP request in three parts. The first is the request line, which is the HTTP method, like get or post, meaning what the client wants to do to the server, like read, which is get, or write, which is post to it, and where the server is performing these methods. So like the actual URL. The second part of HTTP is the request header, which is like metadata. This case, it's saying, this is the user agent, which was Mozilla 4.0. And request headers are just metadata. This can be things like, the host it's communicating to the server with. And then the third part of HTTP is the request body, which is like the actual data being sent to the server, and this could be usernames or password. And now note that the request body, when you're using get, there's not an actual request body since you're retrieving something or you're reading from the server, versus if you're using post, there would be a request body. So yeah, the first assignment is literally just put your name, let's do Mickey, and it's just going to give it to you backwards. Now, if you actually use Burp Suite, you can actually see this in Burp Suite. So you can notice that the first thing this does is it sends a post to the web server. And if you click forward, it's gonna get you what you sent to the server, but upside down. So yeah, that is the first lesson. Now keep in mind there's also HTTP responses, which, as the name implies, is a response from the server. It's also very similar to an HTTP request, but it doesn't have a request line, it just has the status line. So let's move on to HTTP splitting, the second lesson. So read the lesson plan. It's going to kind of explain to you what's going on. But effectively, this lesson is to show us the dangers of post in HTTP. So let's turn on intercept, and let's actually search EN for English, and see right away it's going to send a post in this search to the web server. And what it's going to do, if you click next, so it's going to post to the server that it wants to change the language to English, and then it's going to retrieve it from the server. That's why you kind of see the get here. And then as you can see from the top of the browser, it also shows redirect yes, language equals English. So what this shows that the server doesn't sanitize the input, since we can see the post request in the URL. Since there's no proper sanitization, we could inject our own code to the server, and we'll use the URL encoder tool to do this. So let me just go ahead and turn off the intercept. And I already have this code here. So all we're going to be doing is encoding this with a URL encoder, and we're going to be posting that here. And what this is going to do, so if you remember from the previous lesson, this is the body, HTTP body. So this was the actual code. And the issue with this is, as you're going to see, is we can put any type of malicious code in here, and it's going to actually work. So let me actually just show you. See, so let's actually get the website. And this is why you want to have their second interface on, so you can access Firefox. And let's go ahead and put this code in here. And I'm gonna have this in the description so you can actually use the same code. Just make sure that you copied it exactly. For example, like if this is together like this wouldn't work. Make sure there's a space. So yeah, go ahead and post that here. And then you're gonna click encode URL. So you're gonna get this string of characters. Go ahead and copy that. And we're gonna post that here. And boom, voila, this website has been hacked. So as I mentioned earlier, what this does is it sent this code right here to the actual web server, and now it's displaying for us, hey, this website has been hacked. So you can do a lot of other things, like put some other type of malicious code or script and then do some malicious things, but in this case we're just showing the website's HTML page. It says this has been hacked. So go back. Now the second part of the assignment is actually to poison the cache. And it's very simple, very similar to what we previously did. But instead, well, it's very similar to what we previously did, but we're gonna actually set the date for some time in the future, and this is gonna poison the cache and effectively finish the lesson for us. So very similar. I'm gonna put this code in the description, but it's just saying that, hey, it was last modified sometime in the future, which is going to poison the cache, and it's going to have the server act all weird because it doesn't understand how it's set in the future. So again, paste it over here, and it has to be exact. Go ahead and encode it, copy it over, paste it, and congratulations, you have completed this lesson. So anyways, thanks guys for watching, and I hope this helped.